Hello, people. I'm sure you're having a great time. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure you've heard this before. The music is so loud. It's not like it's deafening, but it's so loud we can't even hear the BVs. Music is so loud we can't hear the BVs, so the BVs are not part of the music. So music is so loud we can't hear the BVs. What that means is that the instrumentalists, quote and unquote, are very loud. We can't hear the singers, you know. And how do you deal with this? First, I think it begins with those playing. I've had to set up for a gig, and then the drummer comes, so I can't hear myself. And I'm like, okay, but we all can hear you. And, everybody just laughed. Of course, I know what he meant. He couldn't hear his kit, analog kit. So I now said, okay, well, we could hear you at the time. And I know what he wanted to hear. But I think that one of the fastest ways to deal with this is that instrumentalists, you guys need to be tapered. What do I mean? You need to be able to hear yourself in the mix, in the entire music, and be satisfied. What do I mean? You don't need to be very loud. You shouldn't be everywhere. The tendency to want to feel good when you hear yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't hear yourself. If there are wedges around you, if you're using your in-ears and then, okay, you determine the mix, you want yourself louder than everybody else, it's a different thing. But, front of house does not belong to you. And please be tapered too so you don't get the engineer angry. What do I mean? Learn to play in the band. It's musicianship. Understand your role. As a matter of fact, if you know your role in the music, you will know when you need to be able to raise your level. And then, for instance, maybe you want to do a solo at a time, and then, okay, you just raise your level a bit. After that, take it back. Just stay in the mix. You're good inside the music. And the way we listen to songs that have been mixed and mastered, we can pick out this instrument, pick out this one. That's how the entire music should be, not one person standing out like you're the one featuring the band. So this is it. A lady once told me she doesn't go for music programs around where she stays, around her state. And I asked why. She said because every time she does that, she comes back with a headache. And then she can't even pick anything no message. Why? Because actually the music should be good, everything in place. But the message is in the lyrics. If I can't hear the lyrics, then I didn't profit from your singing. If I can't get what you're saying, then I probably would have wasted my time around you. So I counseled her and I said, well, say this to some of the people when you go there, but that shouldn't keep you from from attending music events. Guys, this is what we're doing to people we're meant to be serving, we're meant to be, ministering to. Please be tapered. Just stay within the mix and everything should just be together. I need to be able to hear the vocals. The music should be good. Vocals should just rest and just sit, and then let's be able to make sense. Actually, let's be able to make sense. So guys, you don't need to hear yourself loud. You mustn't hear yourself loud. As a matter of fact, if you just stay at a comfortable level by the frequencies that each of these instruments have, their peculiar frequencies, everybody will be heard. It's very difficult to find, instruments struggling with the same frequency. The spectrum is there. Everybody has their space. This instrument is from so and so hertz to so and so kilohertz, hertz. So if you stay where your characteristic instrument or the characteristic frequency for your instrument is, you will still be heard. The spectrum belongs to everybody. You mustn't be loud. Stay in the mix, and please stay in the mix. I've said this in one of my videos before. Maturity is actually skill in order. There's so much to play, but you're tapered, you're doing what is necessary and at the level that is necessary. Now, please remember, your music is like a good meal that should be properly served. It's a waste of time and energy and resources if it's not taken, if it's not eaten, if it's not consumed, no matter how good it does taste. So please remember this always, and let this inform everything you do on stage and wherever you are. And be sure to like and share and subscribe, to get more of these tips. Thank you very, very much.